Hi there, for today's video we are going to be focusing on biography. Go ahead and say that with me. Biography. Good job. Before we begin going over this poster, let's go ahead and go over these words that we are going to need to know so we can understand this poster. Biography. A type of writing that tells about the life of a real person. Okay? And so I have an example that we'll see here in a little bit. So we are going to be learning about the life of a real person. Genre. Go ahead and say that with me. Genre. Good. Genre is a type of writing such as fiction, informational text, or opinion writing, narrative nonfiction, fantasy, fables. There are different types of writing, okay? A biography is a genre. Nonfiction. Nonfiction. Go ahead and say it with me. Nonfiction. Good. A type of writing that gives facts about a topic. So when it's nonfiction, you know you're going to be learning real information. Okay? So biography, genre, nonfiction. So biography is a genre, and it's a type of nonfiction, meaning we are going to be learning. What are we going to be learning? About a person's life. So a biography tells about the life of a real person, why the person is important, events from the person's life, information about where the person lived, worked, or traveled, ways the person has made a difference. A biography may have a drawing or a photograph. A photograph is taken with a camera. A drawing, it will most likely be realistic, meaning it's not going to look all silly. It's going to be a drawing. You can tell it's a drawing, but it's going to look somewhat real. So you might see this in a biography. It might be a photograph or artwork of that person that you're reading about and learning about. The events in order from earliest to latest, so the beginning of their life to the middle to the end of their life. And then a timeline that shows the order of events from when they were born, started school, rode a bike, went to college, all those little things in order, okay? Here are some important people that have biographies over them. Helen Keller, which I know we've learned about in writing. Abraham Lincoln. Amelia Earhart, we read a couple stories over her. George Washington. Rosa Parks. Martin Luther King Jr. So what I would like to do right now is take a moment and actually look at a little biography over someone who is important, who made a difference. And we're going to read the biography, and then we'll talk about it, okay? All right, so right here we have Mr. Rogers, okay? So we are going to be learning a little bit about him. So here's the introduction.
Mr. Rogers starred in the children's TV show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. The show ran for more than 30 years. Mr. Rogers' real name was Fred Rogers. He was born on March 20th, 1928 in Pennsylvania.
Okay, so that's a little bit about him. Give me a thumbs up if you ever heard of the show, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Yes, I know. I've loved that. I used to love watching that show. So here's his early life.
Mr. Rogers finished college in 1951. After college, he worked on many TV shows. He returned to college and became a minister in 1962. But he still wanted to work on TV shows.
Mr. Rogers attended Rollins College in Florida. So here's a photograph of the college. So now so that's his early life. Here it's his life's work.
Life's work. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood first aired nationally in 1968. Little changed in the show's 30 years. Mr. Rogers always began the show by changing from his jacket into a sweater. He slipped on tennis shoes. He sang the theme song, "Won't You Be My Neighbor?"
Okay. So are you learning real information about a real person? Yes. Later years.
Mr. Rogers wrote more than 200 songs for his show. He also wrote many books for children and adults. In 2012, a new TV show was created using his puppet character, Daniel Tiger.
Okay, so far we were introduced to him, like who he is. We went over his early life, then his life's work, which is the show, and now as he's gotten older, we're learning about some more information about him. Contributions.
Contributions. Mr. Rogers earned many awards for his TV show. In 2002, he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President George W. Bush. Mr. Rogers died in 2003 at age 74. His work continues to touch the hearts of both children and adults.
So his TV show was just a great show to learn about a whole bunch of different little lessons, and he did it in such a fun way. So that was another really important thing about him. Mr. Rogers holding an Emmy Award. Okay, so he won a big award for his show. So now here is a timeline. Let me try to get out of the way. Remember, timeline is an important thing for biographies. 1928, so we should start from the beginning to the end. Mr. Rogers is born on March 20th. 1951, Mr. Rogers graduates from college. See how we're kind of going in order. Now, next one. 1962, Mr. Rogers becomes a minister. 1968, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood first airs. 1998, Mr. Rogers receives a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Another big award. Let me see. There we go. 2002, Mr. Rogers is awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And then 2003, Mr. Rogers passes away. So here's a little timeline of Mr. Rogers. So what I'd like to do is go back to that poster and go through that little checklist of different things that a biography can have and see if this one had all those characteristics. All right, so I'm going to go over this, and I want you to give me a thumbs up for yes, we noticed this, or thumbs down for nope, that wasn't in the little biography over Mr. Rogers. So remember, a biography tells about the life of a real person. Was Mr. Rogers a real person? Yes. Did it tell us why he was an important person? Yes. His TV show and how it helped adults and children. Events from the person's life. Did we learn about different things that happened in his life? Yep. Information about where the person lived, worked, or traveled. Yeah, we learned where he worked and where he grew up. So yes. Ways the person has made a difference. That kind of goes with the first one, why the person is important. His TV show really reached a whole bunch of people. A biography can have photos of that person. Did we see actual photos of Mr. Rogers? We did. The events in order from earliest to latest. We did maybe not when he was a little kid, but whenever he was a little bit older and went to college, and then from there on out we learned about the rest of his life. So yes. A timeline that shows the order of events. Do you remember the last page where I showed you the timeline from when he was born? It's in the different events in order, chronological order. Yes. All right. So I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit of information about Mr. Rogers. Let's go ahead and go over these words one more time. Biography, a type of writing that tells about the life of a real person. Genre, a type of writing such as fiction, informational text, or opinion writing, or fantasy, or narrative nonfiction, or a biography, just a different type of writing. Nonfiction, a type of writing that gives facts about a topic. So you're actually going to learn from nonfiction, okay? So whenever you have a biography, what do you think the author's purpose is for that biography? To persuade you, inform you, or entertain you? Give you a moment to think about it. The author's purpose is going to be to inform you. Remember, inform is whenever the author is giving you real information about a topic. Your topic could be about a person or a thing. Biographies are over people. So your topic is going to be over that person that you're learning about. So it's going to be informed. The author wants you to learn real information about that person, okay? So I hope you enjoyed learning about biography. Throughout the week, we will be reading different biographies and talking about that person and all these different characteristics of a biography. So I hope you enjoyed it.